Okay, we back again. That's right, man. Listen, the Bless the Hustle speaker series continues.
It does.
Round of applause for Marquice Gee for being here, man.
Man, shout out to Marquice.
Hey,
Marquice, how you doing?
About to be a ray of sunshine on the show today.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. We got to have a time.
Indeed, man.
I've been so excited to be on this podcast, and I made it, y'all. Dreams come true.
Let's go.
We so happy to have you. Seriously. Hey, shout out to Murdoch for putting this together, man. Side Hustle Economy.
Shout out to the man in the corner.
Shout out to Miss Darla from Let Us In Tease Me Cafe.
making the cloud chaser.
Beautiful
She went
chaser.
crazy with this.
For sure. The cloud catcher.
Steve.
Cloud catcher.
Damn, it's
sure.
It's genetic.
Ray listening right now. Wow, that's that DNA. That's the DNA
Our
fault.
DNA trash.
Marquice, where can everybody find you?
On Instagram, primarily. I'm sorry, I'm not doing all the things, but I'm on Instagram. My business is G4Unlimited. That's the letter G, the number 4, the word unlimited.
Let's
and
go.
then my personal is it's Marquice dot the letter G. So ITSMarquice period the letter G.
Let's go, man. Let's do this.
Content.
We start off every single interview with the pregame podcast pop quiz. Who's going to ask you some questions?
It's easy.
It's super simple.
Easy.
Fun questions.
You're going to do a great job.
Yeah, fun questions.
Let's get into it. What y'all got?
I was looking at your Instagram. What's you think is like a universal G's Gym? I think it's called that you think can apply to everybody.
Ooh.
Everybody needs to hear.
Ooh, that's a good one. Come on, homework. All right. A universal G's gym. Your opportunities are unlimited. Okay. So a little backstory, my company name is called G4Unlimited. So my last name is G, spelled G-E-E. There are 4 people in my family, and then the word unlimited. So a lot of people ask me, like, where'd your business name come from?
You stole my question.
Right.
It's gone.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, so I really just started my business because I had so many ideas, and so many people would tell me, well, you just got to do one thing pick one thing. And I'm like, but I can't. I want to do all these different things.
There's more for me.
There's so much more. And then I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about all these different things, and I was like, we're literally created to be these multifaceted individuals. So why are people telling me to limit myself? And so many people were like, oh, you did this, oh, you did that. And some of the stuff I had forgotten about because I realized I was just doing things.
And moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, moved on to the next thing. But it's because I just saw an opportunity and I took it, and I didn't feel like I had any limitations or anything like that. So that's where my hashtag unlimited potential came from. So that's when G's Gym, I always say, like, your potential is unlimited. You could truly do whatever it is that you want to do.
That's
this
real.
being a thing, like, I literally spoke this a year ago. I said, I'm going to be on the PreGame podcast. I'm going to do some stuff, get my name out there, and I'm going to be on the PreGame podcast. And look at me.
This is tight.
There you go, man.
Front
Full
center.
circle moments,
Front
man.
center.
Manifestation.
Manifested our goofy asses here today.
Yeah, indeed.
It's really tight.
Hope we're impressive.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. It's going to be lit. It's okay.
I'm gonna do a throwback one. What's one superpower you wish you could have, and why?
Ooh, a superpower. I wish I could
That you don't already have.
Oh, you're right. I'm magical. One superpower. What's where you can teleport? Is that what it is? Because I'm so bad with time. I'm surprised I was on time to this.
Y'all gang.
I'm late to everything all the time. I'm doing.
You on time to important stuff. That's all that matters.
And I just always feel like I had this thing. Like growing up, my dad, he was like always late all the time, but he would always come in dressed to the nines. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be late, but I'm gonna have an interest. So when I arrive,
sure.
Bust their ass when I get there.
Okay, it's time to get the party started. Okay.
That's fair. At least that's the least you do. If you're gonna
I might use that.
Yeah, if you're gonna be late, don't be dusty.
Yeah,
late.
don't come in mid. Don't come in mid if you're gonna be late.
He gonna steal that.
That's important.
I got a random grab. I'm gonna throw one that's hard too.
Oh shoot.
What's your favorite album of all time?
My favorite album of all time. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's one of the most difficult questions.
Tough.
I can't answer it.
Favorite R&B album? I'll give you a
Favorite
buffer.
R&B.
You got to give me an R&B
He
album.
said you made it harder
That's
somehow.
really crazy. Ooh. Oh, Channel Orange.
Boom.
I was
Shout out
just
to
listening
Frank
to it last
Ocean,
night.
man.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a darn good pick.
It was.
He's
I was
darn
just
good
listening
pick.
to it last night.
He's on the Coachella lineup, so he should be dropping something soon.
I
maybe?
hope so.
You don't have to do that.
No, he's just gonna sing his old shit.
Yeah, if y'all say, man, okay, you got to drop nothing.
Because what? Pyramids is going to go crazy every time.
Indeed,
What?
it is.
He said
Pink
it
Matter?
is.
What?
New Fest,
Yeah.
same song.
Gosh. Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I
Beyonce made that
I changed
cool.
my hair color for you guys. You don't like
Just
it?
come do your songs, bro. They love
Yeah,
your
I
songs.
didn't really listen to that whole one, but yeah, Channel Orange is like, I don't know.
yeah.
That's like
Ooh,
one of those
Blonde,
like
'cause it was
nostalgic.
mid.
I remember where I was at when it came out. I remember just like sitting in my driveway for like hours listening to it like over and over.
Shout out to Frank.
Yeah.
I
Gotta
still
listen
think
to it
Frank
in
was
the car.
blackballed. I still think he was, but I know it's
Relax.
not true.
Yeah.
But
It's okay. We have faith. It's the era of like people just reintroducing themselves and like
It is.
spinning it around. But I don't know if I
Reincarnation.
want a new Frank. Like I still want.
nah, we really want Channel
Frank.
Orange Part 2. Just Channel Red.
Yeah, give me some.
That's all we want. Don't
Channel
do too
Yellows.
much. Don't do too much.
That's real. All right, man. What's your favorite place to go in Indianapolis and why?
Ooh, my favorite place to go. Oh, that's crazy. Because I really like to eat a lot. So I'm
me too.
always trying like
Okay, that's what we're doing.
I'm always trying to do restaurants. So it just in my moods, like it just depends on what I'm craving. So like I went through this period where I went to Olive Garden and I got a fettuccine Alfredo one day, but I got salmon in it instead, and I had that like
Spiced it up.
hold on.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's like, look,
Oh yeah.
I had put Olive Garden down for some years. It's
back.
sparingly.
Yeah,
it's gonna
every now
slap.
and again. Like every now and
You
again.
can't do it but once a year. When you do it once a year.
every 2 months, maybe.
No. You'll get sick of that real quick.
My grandmother eats Olive Garden once a week.
Really?
Yeah, my sister's
well,
like
Grammy
that.
do what she want to do. That's different.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm-
different.
Yeah, now I can't do it.
Before it's a
yeah.
hit, like you go get spend the money, you want the food to hit.
Yeah.
More than twice a year is too much for Olive Garden. But if you haven't been,
Their
that
chicken
salad and them
marsala is
breadsticks, and
Right.
go a
They
new
go
pasta, you're gonna be like,
crazy. Get you a nice glass of wine, you know what I'm
See,
saying?
y'all still
You
open
just turn
in
it
here?
to a
Oh, you
whole-
apologize. I wasn't familiar with your
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, but to just like chill, I like to go to I think it's like the Butler Arts Garden, or they got like this big, just like outdoor green space situation. So I like to walk there and like chill out. For
Butler has a beautiful campus. I didn't
Oh,
know
it's
it.
amazing.
I had no
It's-
idea
it's
till Murdoch
nice.
had me
yeah,
come there.
it's
real nice.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
I've
real
lived down the
nice.
street for like what we've been there since 2015, so like
You know
8
why?
years.
You know what's weird?
Because it's surrounded by the
It's surrounded
hood.
by
Yeah.
a cesspool. You know what I mean?
Don't call it that.
You got Crown Hill. You got
Oh my
the area.
goodness.
In the middle of it, though, it's like if you just go in there,
Right.
Yeah.
just take a right in
Definitely
there.
Narnia.
I say I always live at
Go
like
on,
the
get into
turning
Target and
point,
see if you
like
don't find something
from my
beautiful.
house to 38th Street, like you might get shot. From my house down, like you're
it's
definitely
dangerous
living the
over
dream.
there.
Yeah.
It just- it all
Beautiful over
depends.
there.
You just
I
take the
always
right,
say
left
I've
turn.
always lived like I haven't lived in the hood, but like hood adjacent.
Yes,
Yeah.
surrounded.
Yeah, hood adjacent.
Near enough, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you look over there.
They shooting over there.
Yeah.
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 You hear that?
Yeah.
Home.
Turn
Yo,
TV up.
Your citizens have be jumping.
Citizens a dark place, man.
Draining your battery.
I would never ever download Citizens.
I got
Hey,
one.
actually, you should. Actually, I don't know. It led me to take a detour one day because niggas was shooting in an area they shouldn't have been shooting.
Yeah.
at.
But
I
then the
got
next day it'll
I
be
said-
like drumstick dash or something, and people just running and riding bikes
Nope.
down the
Don't want
street. It's crazy. It's
Indeed.
crazy.
Does that conclude the pregame podcast?
Yes, it
Boys?
does.
It does. It
Okay.
does. Let's get
Round of
into it.
applause to Marquice G for being
Told you it was
here.
easy.
G4 Unlimited. So why did you decide to kind of get into, coaching young professionals? Where does that come from for you?
Yeah, so it really started, of course, I was a pandemic business starter. So I was just like at home, had nothing to do. I graduated in 2019, May 2019. I moved.
You
and-
just got out.
Yeah, just fresh out.
Yeah.
I
That's
know,
crazy.
It's crazy. But
Salute.
it's been 4 years at the same time. So it's like
Damn
fresh
it.
out,
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
also it's a long time at the same time. It's crazy.
Time
but
ain't real.
It's not. It's all made up in our minds. But graduated in May, moved out the country, came back to give you like time points. The week before I moved back, Kobe Bryant had just died. And so COVID wasn't really like a thing yet.
You moved back
you
last
know?
week.
It
You
wasn't-
moved back next week.
Yeah, literally. And then the week after I moved back, I was living in the Dominican Republic. The borders closed. So had I waited
You'd
just
been
a few
Dominican.
days longer, I would have been for
They'd have
real.
been treating
I
you
would've
poorly
been
out there.
like, yeah, it's out.
They'd have pushed you across the island.
Yeah,
It is-
no. I was living in a hotel, so
You
I was
belong
cool.
over
I
here.
was cool. I was cool. I
They
was
be on
cool.
that.
But yeah, like
Passe.
I came back, didn't have a job for like 6 weeks. Started work because I was supposed to move to Cancun and start working at a resort down
Oh,
there.
you don't want to be here.
No, I did. I was trying to turn it down. Like that
Gotcha,
was the
okay.
thing, but it was the only job opportunity I had at the time. So I was trying to find jobs here. Waited like 6 weeks. started working there. Like a week and a half later, they were like, we got to go home. That's when the lockdown happened.
Ooh. Then you didn't need a job.
Yeah, a week and a half. No, I still needed a job. I literally came back. I had $200 to my name. Like, it was crazy. A week and a half later, they were like, oh, you're furloughed for 30 days. I'm like, what does that mean? You know? Ended up being 3 months. It went from 30 days to 3 months. Had to apply for food stamps, had to, the whatever.
Character building.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just crazy because I remember growing up and all my friends being like, I'm never going to be on food stamps and
bullshit.
All that stuff.
They didn't go to college.
You. When it happened to me, I was like, I get it. Like,
I'm never going to live through it. They never knew a global pandemic was coming. Like,
it's a situational type thing. So it was just putting life into perspective for me and realizing that, like, at this point, I think I was 23 or 24. And at that point, like, if you would have asked me 4 years before, not even 4 years, maybe 5 or 6 years before that, I would have told you, oh, I'm married, house, a kid and a half, a dog, all this stuff. And I'm like, here I am, 24 in the middle of a pandemic, living with my parents. Like, what's going on in my life? I don't have a job. Like,
probably the best place for you to be.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely hindsight being 2020, but at that point, it was just like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. And so then I just started seeing all these people starting businesses and boutiques and all that stuff. And I'm always a supporter of anybody going after their dream. But then after like the 6th nail salon and the 25th boutique and all this
we
stuff,
have our target audiences.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, but what's the sustainability piece to this? Mm-hmm. And like, my dad's been a barber my whole life, so I've been around that entrepreneurship my entire life. And so seeing him start a business from the ground up and sustain it and maintain it all this time, it was just like, what is this going to be for y'all in a year from now? Forget 5 years from now. What is this going to be in a year from now? And I was telling so many people, oh, you should do this, or what did you think about doing this, or marketing your stuff this way? Because I got my degree in business administration. Mm-hmm. And I started realizing a lot of people are seers and not doers. So I can't tell somebody to do something if they don't see me doing it as well. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me stop focusing on other people and put that focus on myself.
Right.
And for me, I knew at some point in my life I would go into entrepreneurship. I didn't expect it to be this soon, and definitely not in this vein. But I'm always like the center of my friend groups. I've always been reasonably mature for my age, and so I'm always the one giving advice and the shoulder to cry on. And so many people started saying, like, you should be a speaker. And I'm like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, I just talk all the time, so it's not like I didn't think, oh, I could make a career out of this. And once I started looking at it, I saw this Tony Robbins documentary on Netflix, and I was like, oh, that's what they mean.
Got you.
And when I thought about it, I was like, man, I've been speaking since I was in like 2nd grade. I started doing school broadcasts from elementary school to college. My first speaking engagement was in 7th grade, and they asked me to introduce the superintendent of our school. My first speaking engagement was 1,000 people in the 7th grade.
They trusted you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Super cool. They don't want nobody talking.
Yeah, but I was always like, I was always like that poster child black kid. You know what I'm saying? So, but by the time I got to college is when I realized that. I called my senior year. I called it my Ball State tour. And I literally every other week I was going to a young alumni event. Can you come here? Can you speak at this? And at first I'm like, oh yeah, I can go for free. They got drinks all the time, all this stuff. But then I started realizing I got to use this to my advantage. Yeah, I got to use it to my advantage. Yeah.
What's the speaking budget?
Right. But yeah, so I had to start learning how to use that to my advantage. And so I started the coaching thing just to give that vein of showing people, like, it's one thing to, especially when I did it myself, I'm like, oh, you can go file an LLC in 20 minutes. Like, that's not nothing, So
don't tell Twitter that.
Right. Oh, yeah, right. Let me not.
It takes moving mountains to make an LLC because you're special if you got one.
Yeah, but I was like, I wanted to be able to say that, like, I started a business and I'm doing it the right way because I know that there are other things that you need, like a lawyer and accountant. I'm a huge documentary nerd. Like, I just love documentaries, and I would watch a lot of documentaries about people. And people probably gonna crucify me about this, but I really am an avid Kardashian follower. Like, for real. Only from the business side of things, because if you really study how they do business, like, they give you the code to so much.
It's almost like a talent they have.
Literally,
But it's not a talent. It's not a talent. Respect their grind.
I'm not even going to go down that wormhole. We're not going to go down that wormhole. But
supporter. anti
I don't really,
over there.
I don't really like them either. They're wild.
Yeah, it's a wild. Like I don't
let's not
support
say that that's
everything,
not a
but just
form of
in the
talent.
vein
Business
of
acumen
business,
is not
like,
a talent.
It's a subgenre of talent.
But it's not talent. A subgenre. What is it? What
Of talent.
LeBron's is a subgenre of basketball. No, he's talented at basketball.
He's also a talented businessman too, though.
Exactly, and
He's
business
talented at
really is a
basketball.
talent because
He's
when you
a
think
talented
about it, a
businessman.
lot of
And he's
people
a what
start
businessman?
businesses.
He's a
and
talented businessman. He's
put the right people in
upper
place to
echelon,
be good at
but he had to do
business.
that. He had to have the vision to do that.
He can go to
Exactly.
college. So I know he ain't just all of a sudden do business. LeBron is from the slums. He did not learn business in St. Mary High School. Act like he did. Like, don't you dare.
I didn't mean to take us.
Okay, so he didn't learn it. He has a God-given talent for it.
No, he has the ability to pay people to help him do it.
All right, guys.
Let's move on.
Damn.
We
I
talked
I didn't mean to
about
take
this.
us. I'm so sorry. I'm
No, you
so
did
sorry.
right.
I didn't.
You did right.
Nah, they're really polarizing like that.
Yeah,
right.
so because I mean, just if you think about it, they say like the average business doesn't last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And so they've managed to build multiple. However, it's going on.
Yeah,
I'm not,
they
you
selling
know,
bots.
but it's just a lot behind that. So I just wanted to be able to show that this is possible, how to do it. So when people like, especially in my age range, are saying like, oh, I want to start a business, they don't think it's just going online, filing some paperwork, and being on Instagram all the time. Like there's more to it.
This might soften the blow. Who's your favorite Kardashian?
My favorite. Ooh, that's actually hard. My favorite is actually Khloe. Khloe
Okay.
and Kendall.
Cool.
They're actually my favorite. I love Kim though. Just like as a businesswoman, I love Kim.
You got
but-
to put stuff on this.
yeah,
Okay.
no, but
It's
Khloe
okay to
and
like
Kendall,
him.
I would definitely love to party with them one day. I ain't gonna
Got
hold
you.
you.
You two have be a great time.
Don't party at Kyle's house.
Don't party
Yeah,
at
not
college.
at college.
Not over
You
there.
got a favorite documentary?
A favorite documentary? Oh,
That's hard. That's
man,
really
that's
weird.
so crazy because I'll tell you, I think I've watched every documentary on Netflix. It's so crazy.
Or better yet, what's the last one you watched that you would tell somebody else to get into?
I just watched this one. Oh my gosh, what was that man's name? He was really big on Wall Street.
Oh, the Ponzi scheme guy.
Yes.
Madoff.
Bernie
Yeah.
Madoff.
I heard
Watch
that one was good.
one. It was so good. It was really, really good. And that's the thing that I tell people about, like, it's some things that I learned, business is some things I learned just about being a good person and character, you know, just developing your character and stuff. But that was definitely a good one to watch because this man literally made fortunes off of literally doing nothing of what he said he was doing. Like
Understand.
and to be able to continue it for
Crazy.
that long is wild.
And he was such a
it's
real one that he
absolutely
went
wild.
down by himself and let other people still live.
Yeah, I had to respect that.
Yeah,
I had
because
to
he
respect
didn't
that.
say a word. He wasn't on that.
I had
That's
to.
nice.
He didn't yes man one
Yeah,
judge.
yes, man.
Yeah. So, but that's to answer your question.
ma'am.
That's where the coaching came from. Kind of got out of it because I had to realize that even before you can get to coaching, like you got to go through a whole mindset shift and all these different things. And like, especially when I really started developing a relationship with Murdoch and getting into the mastermind and getting around like Ray and all these other people, I'm like, there's so many other things you got to go through before you get to this point that I'm trying to get you to, and I don't want to do that part. So we kind of dialed that back a little bit.
That's fair because
Yeah.
Ray had you reassessing shit.
Oh, for
Boy,
sure,
you
for
should be
sure. Had me
reassessing
questioning
Ray.
my life. Like, hold on, do I know something?
Reassessment rate.
Reassessment Ray.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Riz.
That's what I want to. I want to talk about the event though. So
Yeah.
you have an event coming up March 5th.
Yeah.
The Empowerment of She.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to create this event? Who's it for?
So, and when I started my business August of 2020, the first thing that I wanted to do right out the bat was an event. So I got my degree in business administration, but a lot of my work experience was in hospitality and events. So I've always wanted to get into the event space. And so though that didn't pan out how I wanted it to. So 2020, nothing was going on. 2021, it was like a real like, okay, let me learn some stuff, you know, being around Murdoch, learning about credit, all these different things. I really had to learn and network and all these different things. So when 2022 hit, I was like, I got to do something now. Like, people keep asking, so what are you doing? And I'm tired of explaining myself. So let me just show y'all now what's going on. And I met with two like mentors of mine, Starla and Lativa. They are the founders of Create, Connect, Collab. And they were just like, oh, you should do an event for that. Mind you, this is like mid-January at this point. they were like, oh, you should do an event for International Women's Day. And at this point, I've heard of it. International Women's Day, never really like participated or anything like that. Yeah. So looked it up. They were like, oh, it's in March. That might be too soon. I was like, y'all don't know me. If I hear it possible, I'm like, let's do it, you know? Because in reality, because I'm so passionate about it, an event I could have done in 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's really just, I think marketing for an event is much harder than just putting it together.
Correct.
So literally got off the phone with them. Called like 3 venues, the 2 people, like I had the vision as soon as they said it. Called my co-host, like, hey, are y'all available? I want to do this. They was on board. So within 15 minutes, I had my event plan. And I was like, I really want to have something where women can come together. So in my coaching and workshops and like what I actually teach now, I teach networking strategy. So how do you build a community, a network, a friend group, whatever, that's going to help you elevate to success a lot faster. And so a lot of people when I would say that to people, they're like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And like 2022, I saw so many things like, come network, come do this. Right. But then I would go and I'm like, this isn't
networking events are not.
Yeah, they're not what they, because people don't know that like networking is an actual skill. True. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I wanted to create this where women can come and network, and especially there's a lot of stigma of women can't get along with each other and we're always in competition. Even me myself, I started to realize in my professional settings, a lot of the people, like right now, I'm always around a bunch of men all the time, which don't get me wrong, it's fine. I love my male acquaintances, but sometimes it's nice to have a woman in that space that can understand what's going on. So, and I knew women, it's just like, why can't we be in one setting?
Maybe
so,
it's not a stigma.
It's a little bit. It's a lot. It's more complex than what people make it seem. But I wanted to just create this environment where we can come together, also relax, because like 2021, 2022, it was just heavy. It was so heavy. So how do I come together and educate? Education is always a pillar of my events. Like be educated, be entertained. Those are the 2 big things that I go for. And so, of course, everybody was doing a brunch type event. And I was like, I whatever is common, I want to do the exact opposite. Gotcha. So let's do a dinner. Dinner instead, it's soft lighting. We're more relaxed. I don't want people to be thinking, oh, we doing mimosas. We about to be lit, turned up. No, I want you to receive the information that's going on.
Remember it.
And remember it, right. Participate in the environment and all that stuff. And so that's really where it started at. And honestly, probably why I'm sitting here today, truthfully, I put that event together in 45 days. Like a week and a half before the event, I had only sold 3 tickets. My goal was 40. And one of those 3 tickets was my mom. One of those 3 tickets was my mom.
Ain't no wrong with that.
And I remember, like, at this point, like, I don't have, like, G4 hasn't made any real income, so everything's coming out of my pocket. And one day my mom, we were sitting in the car. She was like, hey, how's your event going? And I was like, you know what, to be honest, I've only sold 3 tickets and one of them is you. And she was like, so what are you going to do about that? Like, isn't it like next week? Or are you going to cancel it?
Hate those questions.
Literally. But it was the first time that I had really been faced with that question, because the event that I came out the door with in 2020, it wasn't as much riding on it. But I'm like, at this point, I done booked the venue. I got speakers. Right. I got, like, I've invested time into this. And now people really know and are aware. And I was like, in that moment, I firmly believe that, like, you have to trust your gut, like your intuition. And when she asked me that question, and I'm a super anxious person, like, very anxious. But when I'm telling you, I was like the calmest I had ever been in my life when she asked me that question. I can't wait to hear the answer. Like, what did you say? And I was just like, no. I was like, the Spirit's not telling me to do that. Like, nothing in my being is like nervous about it at all. And I kid you not, we talked about it for an hour and a half in the car. And from the moment I said that, ticket sales was just running. Wow,
that's crazy.
To the point I sold out. So the event was on Sunday. My friend actually bought the final ticket. We were at the Melly showroom. We went to a First Friday. She bought the last ticket sitting right next to me. I was literally crying in the Melly showroom because she bought the last ticket. The next day, I had a couple of people people were like sponsoring tickets. So I had given away like 5 tickets. But I didn't match the count on Eventbrite. So people were still buying tickets. So I'm calling the venue like, I really like people just, can I squeeze like 5 more, 10 more people in? And she was like, yeah, we'll set up some more space, blah, blah, blah. The Sunday comes the day of, and like 5 more people bought tickets. So I had oversold the event by like 20 at this point.
Wow. Congratulations.
And like, thank you. So I'm literally like getting my makeup done, eyelash on one eye, tears coming out the other one. Like, it was so crazy. But from that event, being able to the point where like I was like, I don't got a big budget. We're gonna have to do some Family Dollar arts and crafts, you know, for these decor pieces. And 2 days before the event, this random lady just DM'd me. She was like, hey, I'm a florist. I've been looking for things to be a part of. I saw your event. Can I do your flower arrangements?
Look at God.
Oh, wow.
I was like, ma'am, you could come in and be a clown if you wanted to.
Right.
I don't care. Like, thank you so much. And just seeing it all come, like, I had a vision of what I wanted to be in my head, but how it came together was just like, oh my God. And that's when I just realized, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. And that just exploded everything else. Like, I just got so many opportunities. And it was like, even like, it was a Women's Day event, and the only male there was my dad. And at first I was like, no, it's a Women's Day thing. I want people to be comfortable. But I was like, no, I need him to be there, because him being an entrepreneur, he was a barber, so he's like real physical. You know, his entrepreneurship is like, if you're not doing stuff with your hands, how are you making money? So when I was telling him when I wanted to start my business, he didn't get it.
You see the vision.
So I was like, nah, he gotta be there to get it. And literally seeing my dad just sit in the back like he talked about that event for a week.
So wait, man, you gonna charge people to charge people?
Yeah. He was like, people just like gonna pay you to just like talk and like come sit down and stuff. And I was like, yeah. So seeing that was like because I was like, I get this from you.
Right.
Like you don't see it because it's in a different form. But I was like, this is exactly what you've done. Like we can't go to eat. Literally, my sister had a little incident a couple weeks ago, and we had to get her an ambulance. The medics that came in, the EMT guy knew my dad.
Oh, you got one of them dads.
Literally.
I got one of those dads too.
Everybody knows.
And so I'm just
Hey, Mr.
like,
G, what's going on? I didn't know you. Okay, yeah.
oh yes, everybody goes
Cheers,
back.
those
Goes
guys.
back. Literally, I still have people from high school who's like, I didn't know that was your dad. He used to cut my hair. Da 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 da. All right now.
Yeah.
But I needed him to see that, and like just seeing my parents just sit in the back, just bawling their eyes out, like, oh my God, like
I'm sure that was amazing.
this. Even Camille came. She was like,
Shout out to my dog.
yeah, seriously, I love her. But she just seeing everybody that has like from people that just met me a month ago to people that have known me since the day I entered this earth, like, wow. I was
That's
just like,
crazy.
yeah, this is it. So I was like, this has to be my annual thing to,
Nice.
you know, give that to the community.
How do you balance? So like you going 1,000 miles a minute right now.
Yeah.
How do you balance the concept? You're not old. You're like what, 25?
No, I just turned 26 in November.
Like you're in a spot where you can do so much more, but I feel like you still have that pressure trying to do everything at once. Like how are you juggling that?
I think it's always been who I am. Growing up, my parents their number one rule was your only job is to go to school and make good grades. And like everybody in my house has like a trade skill of some sort. So like my dad's a barber. He can also build a house, be a carpenter, fix a car, whatever. He's like a real man's man type of guy. My mom can cook like nobody's freaking business. My sister is a licensed cosmetologist and she can throw down, you know? So, but I never had that. I'm a firm believer that everybody has the ability to do something, but to what capacity can you do it? So I always say like, I can't cook. But my mom was just like, you get in here, you can read, you can follow a recipe so
That's
you
real,
can cook.
yeah.
You can cook. You just can't cook like me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely not. I'm not
the
like
job
grandma
done.
Sunday dinner type cooking. You know, I'm the basic like
Follow a recipe.
asparagus and chicken type
Follow a
person.
recipe. That's all you gotta be able to do is follow a recipe.
Because like my parents instilled and especially my mom, like they used to meet me like at the age of 1 year old, like I was reading the newspaper, like that type of stuff. So my mom was like, if you can read it, you can achieve it. So that was just my thing. You can read it, you can do it. So I was always really good in school, and then I was always in these different activities. I had a job at the age of 13, so I was always been like,
From
You in the workforce early.
oh man, well, I'm telling you. So my dad, like, it's only me and my
Throwback
sister.
human.
It's only me and my sister. My dad, he's just always been around women. So I think my dad kind of raised me and my sister like the sons he always wanted.
Yeah.
So like he teaching us how to change tires, change your oil, like all that stuff. I
That's
done
important.
lifted a couch by myself. You know, all these different
That's
things.
crazy.
It really is.
Rose
It's
and
actually
Griffith for
wild.
sure.
But my parents always instilled in me like it's okay to depend on people, but don't put yourself in a position where you have to rely on somebody for
need
everything.
Right.
So I've just always been this super independent person and so ambitious. And like I said, mentioned earlier, all these opportunities come in my way. So I've always just managed a lot, like being a class president while being the captain of the dance team, while working a job, while being in all honors classes, like all this stuff all the
You need to
time.
get you a
So
whoop band and
I
sit down
know.
somewhere.
Oh, they've been trying. And since I met Ray, he's been trying to get me. And I said no, because that's going to
tell
read
you
me
to
to
stop.
filth.
Yeah,
It's going to read
tell
me
you
to
to
filth.
stop.
Absolutely not. But I don't know. At this point, I just don't know how to just not do stuff, you know?
Right.
And especially now that I found my purpose, it makes you want to go like 10 times harder, you know? And I think the pandemic too was also a trigger of, dang, not that I felt invincible. I know that, you know, at some point my time's going to come, but like you really don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
no,
it could
not.
be from anything.
Yep.
Like the weirdest, like
Yep.
I could be sitting here and choke on my saliva or something right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I'm
the
not
weirdest
CPR
things
trained.
can
You
happen.
would be on your own.
So now I got
Be
you.
on your own.
But I was just like,
I'm
you
sure
just
Murdoch
never know what's going to happen,
Probably.
when it's going to happen. So let me just get after all that I can while I can. And it's definitely challenging. It's some days, like, I think this was the first New Year's I came into the New Year and I wasn't sick from being burnt out. Like, I'm traveling. I still have a 9 to 5 still. You know, I'm assisting people in their dreams. I got a family. I got friends. I was in the Made Man show, you know, so I'm doing all this
shout out
different
to Jay
stuff.
Bland.
Jay Bland.
Yes. So I'm just doing all these things at the same time, but it's just like some of them are what I know I got to do to survive, but then the other half of it is stuff that fuels me to be able to do the stuff I
connects to your
got to do to
purpose.
survive. So this year my goal is to really be more like have a routine.
Take a nap.
I takes me a nap.
Okay, cool.
I'll take me a
I
nap
takes
now.
me a
As
One
you
thing about
should.
me, I'm gonna have me a nap.
Got
okay,
you,
I don't
got
play
you.
about sleep, but in the time, like just being better about managing my time while I'm awake and just really being able to be more smart about my time.
That's real. That's real. Round of applause for that, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful right there. What can we expect that's different? So I know you mentioned this is an annual event to empower women. What can we expect from this year's Power of She? It's going to be different from last year's.
Yeah. So
Maybe
and
before that.
let me go back to, I didn't explain what the power of She actually meant. So the She is actually an acronym. It stands for Synergy, Healing, and Emotional Intelligence. So those are 3 different pillars that I felt like women really need. Like they're being talked about around women, but we're not really having that conversation of what this really means and how do we support each other through this. So that's what that was all about. Definitely we're going up on the venue this year, so excited about that.
Okay.
I did, one of the key elements last year was I had a live performance during the dessert portion. So I'm always like
Try to do something different.
trying to just like, okay, how can I just throw a little something
Throw a
there.
little razzle-dazzle
Just a
on
little
there.
razzle-dazzle. You know, I'm always a little
razzle-dazzle.
razzle-dazzle. So that kind of went crazy last year. I think that was like the most enjoyable moment. But last year I had 2 co-hosts. This year I think I'm going to just head it myself, and we're going to do a panel this time.
Okay.
So
Oh,
we're going to
nice.
have a panel, a lot more educational pieces, and it's going to cover a range of things. So womanhood, life in general, but also being a woman in business, being a parent, being a mom, like all these different things. Some things that I'm not, that I just can't speak to. I'm a single woman with no kids. Like I can't speak
Right.
to certain things, but it's also one of my key focuses this year it's International Women's Day. So I don't want to, even though I love my black women, we're all great, you know, and my florist actually was a white woman, so she was the only non-black person there last
Right.
year. So, but I wanted to be where, because my experiences are so diverse. Like I remember being the only black kid or person of color or, you know, anything like that in a classroom full of people who didn't look like me. And that never bothered me because it was my norm. You know what I'm saying? It took until I got to college where I feel like I had a culture shock. And I'm like, man, there's a
these
lot of
niggas
black
up in
people
here.
around here, you know? Like,
Yeah,
I
man.
hope
a
they
lot of
act
white
right.
people, you know? So, but I'm like, all those experiences made me who, like, I was in spelling bees and quiz bowls and Girl Scouts and all these different things. People look like, what? Why were you doing that? But I'm like, this is what made me who I am and why I feel like my opportunities are so unlimited. Like
That
I lived
plays
in
a
another
role.
country, so
That's
I can't
real.
limit my audience to just a certain group. So, and I really want people to see that you can get around. I still have relationships with people in DR and the Netherlands and China. Like these are really my friends. If I could call somebody today and have somewhere to stay if I fly across the country. So I want people to feel like they can have that too. It's not just a one-off unicorn type of thing. Because I feel like that's how so many people were looking at me for so long. And I'm like, I didn't grow up with no silver. Like, it wasn't in the hood. Like I said, it was hood adjacent.
Yeah, it was around.
But we still had our issues, our problems. Like, it's times where my bank account has had a lot in it. It's had nothing in it. I done overdrafted, all these different things.
They
but
took it away from me.
Right.
Couldn't use them no more.
Exactly. So, but that's just really important for me to get a lot of people together from different backgrounds. So, panel, diverse audience, bigger venue, and we got some other stuff in the works, but y'all got to be there to see it.
And make sure y'all pull up, man.
We're not invited.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you got the correct pronoun, make sure you pull up. Power She. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. So listen, we live in an unlimited lifestyle. So what is the pinnacle of success for G4Unlimited? When you like, all right, I'm going to finally sit down somewhere.
Man, that's crazy because I don't think I will. Like,
I
I
don't think
keep
you will
learning
either.
new things. So it's like the more things that I learn, it's like, okay, well, let's try that. Let's try that. So literally even getting to this point is crazy because my entrepreneurship, I wanted to start with vending machines. I was trying to get into vending machines.
Hey,
G4Unlimited vending.
I've had that idea as well.
Got to go global.
Literally, like, I wanted to get into vending machines, and then I started learning a little bit about real estate, so I wanted to get into Airbnbs for a while, and then the coaching thing came up, and then I got into the event space, so it's just been, it's like whatever. I go through phases.
Yeah.
So even now, I'm thinking, like, okay, even though I haven't, like, gotten G4 to the spot I wanted to be in with, like, the coaching, the workshops, the events and stuff like that, I'm already, like, thinking of the next thing. So, like, okay, when this is done, then we gonna do this. I'm kind of like a person, I like to know a little bit about a lot of stuff because then I'm able to because you never know, especially me, I'm teaching networking, so I'm around different people all the time, you know what I'm saying? And I'm genuinely intrigued by life and by people. And so I'm like, okay, if I have this little bit of information, when I'm ready to pull the trigger on this over here, I'm not starting from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't think there will ever truly be able to be a stopping point. I think there'll be more freedom and more relaxation. I said there's like 3 things. Like when I'm able to have a full-time DJ live with me almost, like I just want to wake
like
up.
Like an in-house DJ?
Like an in-house DJ. Like
okay.
That's a goal of mine.
That'd be crazy.
That's a goal of mine. Definitely a summer home, at least 2. I need one for myself, one for my parents.
2 summers.
2 summer homes. 2 summers. I like that.
And then I really want to build like a family ranch, you know, like a housing division, but
Wyoming.
it's just my family.
Right.
Like I really want that. So those are 3 things that y'all gonna know. Like
my mama want that, but I'm cool.
You know, it would make life a lot
easier. Take y'all back in time, man.
Want the compound. I'm cool.
Oh, I want a compound real bad, so bad. So I think those are the 3 things. But I think, and especially just we don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she was like, man, I remember going to high school, and we had to pick such and such up. And I'm like, dang, kids can just get an Uber now if they late to school, you know?
Damn, that's true.
Like, that's crazy.
But
like,
they're going to
Uber
be late
because
the surcharge is crazy. When you're supposed to be there on time. You're going to get there at 9:30.
Oh, dang, they charge you to go to school?
Oh, yeah.
Uber. Oh, that's crazy.
They know.
Uber, it surges during school hours.
They know when it's popping.
That is
crazy.
You do what you want when you popping.
Absolutely.
Or is it smart business?
It's a cold game.
That's
Shout
true.
to capitalism.
That's true. But it's just like you never know what's going to be the thing in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. So
sure.
I don't think it'll ever be an endpoint. It's just going to be adapting with the time. And as long as I see opportunity, we're going to keep getting unlimited.
Keep rolling.
Yeah.
That's tight.
Man, round of applause to G4Unlimited, Marquice G being here, man. It's phenomenal.
So how was it? Come on, talk to me.
Oh, top tier. I mean, I feel like I don't know, because I feel like I have like just a lot of like personality. So
you do. You're
I'm just
very
like I'm just
bubbly.
always talking.
do.
We go
You
on
need
for
it.
hours.
It's
I'm like,
great.
we talk
It's great
about so
for
much
this
stuff.
arena. It's
And we
really
can talk.
good.
Oh yeah. I studied journalism for like 2 years.
It's great for this arena.
And then when I saw that they had someone come in and speak, and she was talking about how she had to get up at like 3:00 in the morning.
Wasn't for you no
News
more.
don't stop.
That was
Yeah.
definitely not it. And then she had to
Deadlines.
shoot her. They don't talk about like, so you see like the people that are on Fox 59 is just like, they got a solidified position,
Yeah.
you know?
Debbie Knox
They
now.
don't tell you about like the small, when she said she had to shoot B-roll, this lady was in the middle of a highway in a full blown like Calvin Klein dress on the ground, filming B-roll. Like
Oh,
you're
no.
just filming cars drive by. I said, yep.
No, ma'am.
In my face.
Called the
It's
first
a
card
hustle
office
to what they do too,
immediately.
man.
No, ma'am.
Immediately
I'm
left that
cool.
class and was like, I think I gotta change
They
my
don't talk
major.
about it.
Nah.
That was not gonna be it, but I hope to get around to it. That's why I started like my YouTube channel. Why I started G's Gyms and stuff
Yeah.
because it's still an outlet, for me to fulfill that passion in some way. So
That's real.
that's another thing too. That would be an ultimate. Like if I make it to like I have a talk show,
I can
then
see
we
that.
could be done. We could be done.
I can see it too.
We could be done then.
That'd be fire.
We could be done.
All right, let's move on, man. Next.
Next.